coffee today and I'm feeling very energized and hyper, so I decided to make a video.
Man, I just did some fucking cocaine! Yeah. You see what you're doing? It's ridiculous. What I just did was completely cringeworthy. I'm not doing that ever again. And that's a promise.
About gender!
So, you're going to educate people about gender while you are hyper as hell. That right there has so many fucking flaws. Do you really want to make a video about gender while you're as hyper as a non-binary squirrel?
Yay! So National Geographic has come out with an issue called The Gender Revolution about non-binary people and trans people.
And it made me want to vomit out my fucking organs. Transgender children? Are you fucking insane? If children do not understand the concept of consent, then what makes you think that children have an understanding of the concept of gender?
And people have taken great offense to this. People still believe that there's two genders. Only two genders.
It's universally true. Around the world. For every species. Almost every species. And let me tell you something. You are not a slug. You are not a worm. You are a human being. Start acting like one.
And they don't seem to understand, so I decided that I'm going to use all the energy I have inside my little non-binary body, and I will try and explain to you why.
We're going to take lessons from a child about gender. Once again, there are so many unbelievable fouls that are just waiting to be pointed out. You're a child, not to mention a very hyperactive child that's going to explain to people like myself, who is far older than you, about gender. Do you understand what you are doing?
The binary doesn't actually exist.
To every animal on Earth.
So, starting off, the sex isn't even binary.
We know the argument. He, she, or whatever pronoun, whatever the fuck they want. They're going to say that intersex is a sex, which is absolutely bullshit. That is what we call a disease. A birth defect. Birth defects are not genders. They are not extra sexist. Yes, it is true that one person can be born with 3 X's or 3 Y's or only 1 X or only 1 Y. But guess what? They're still male and female. It's just that they're going to have a much harder time coexisting with other people because they have a mental handicap. In other words, mental handicaps are not sexist nor genders. You get that?
Sex has always been a spectrum. People can be born with XY chromosomes and be assigned female at birth. People can be born with XX chromosomes, be assigned male at birth. People can be born with XXY chromosomes, XXXY, XXXX.
Fucking get it! We fucking get it! You can be born with extra chromosomes or missing chromosomes. But guess what? You are not a different sex. Regardless, you will still be born male or female. Having chromosomes does not give you a different sex. Those lead to different diseases. You are a complete and utter moron. Let's just skip ahead, okay?
X, Y, X, Y, Y, X, O, X, Y, Y, Y. Why do people still think that sex is a binary?
Birth defects don't count as sexist, you moron!
So this even shows that even in nature, even in biology, the whole thing of male and female doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist.
In other words, what you're saying is that everyone is born with a blank slate. What you have between your legs is irrelevant because you can be born with multiple chromosomes. Even though that it's practically the norm that most of the time babies are born with either XX chromosome or XY chromosomes. How fucking stupid are you? Where do you get this information from? Tumblr?
You have been lied to!
No, that is a very good Tommy Wiseau impersonation. Good one.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
But even as gender as something, even gender as a concept separate from sex has never been a binary.
Do you know what Knepfler syndrome is? Allow me to explain. Someone with that syndrome has 2 X chromosomes and 1 Y chromosome. And that person can look more asexual or very feminine, have at least some form of breast development, have a high-pitched voice, and have very little facial features. That right there is called a birth defect. You're telling me that that is not just a syndrome, it is a new sex. Let me show you the side effects, okay? They usually have learning difficulties as children, especially with language and short-term memory. You're saying that that is not just a syndrome. It is a gender identity, a sex. You're saying that mental diseases is just another form of sex. This is how fucking stupid you are. Technically speaking, they are still men because they still have 1 Y chromosome. As long as you have 1 Y chromosome, you are a man. It doesn't matter on how many X's you have. Now, on the other hand, if you have no Y's in your body whatsoever, you are born as a woman. Yes, a woman can be born with 3 X's or only 1 X. But, again, those are birth defects and they are still women. And I will post a link in the description explaining this. You, whatever the fuck you are, you need to read that.
There is a place in Nigeria, I cannot pronounce the name and I'm not going to butcher it, that before colonization had no gender system, had no gender binary, until it was colonized. Native Americans, 2 spirits, are people who are who have male, female, or intersex bodies who combine activities of both men and women with traits unique to their status as two-spirits.
But that's just culture. It's no different from a religion. It's just a belief system. Back then, there weren't any scientists. This is something that is proven, backed up with science, culture, and religion. And it's just mostly just belief. And I have no problem if you want to celebrate your religion or whatever culture you want to be in. I don't care. Point is, culture and religion should not be used as an argument to basically prove that there is more than two genders.
So, even then, even gender as a construct, as a concept, has never been a binary. And I don't get why people are so mad at people identifying as non-binary, because gender is a feeling. Gender is how you identify it. It affects, it's a label, yes, but it's a label just like your name is a label, just like your eye color is a label, just like my hair color. Blue is a label.
Retard is also a label, because you are completely retarded.
I'm non-binary, just like I have blue hair.
Like a fusion of Mr. Roger and Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. That is not a good combination. You look ridiculous. Alright? Look normal.
And it's not something that I go out and I want to feel special by.
Yeah, you're what? 14, 15? Dyeing your hair blue and looking like that? Oh my God. And then telling me that you're not looking for any attention. You're just trying to live a normal life. Sure, you might lose your shit when people misgender you, but you're definitely not asking for attention. You sly dog.
I just know that I don't feel male or female. Everyone has a gender identity. Even people who identify as the gender that they were assigned at birth, that's a gender identity.
Well, the mass majority of people are happy with their sex and their gender. They identify as what they were born as. Me, I was born male, therefore I identify as male. And for those who don't identify as the gender they were born with, they tend to transition to the opposite gender because they understand that they are that gender. There is no spectrum. You are part of a percentage of a percentage. No one should kneel before you.
Everyone has a gender identity. Everyone, and some people's gender identity does not match the gender they were assigned at birth. Sometimes it does. That's okay. What's not okay is that insisting that people are lying, are making it up, are looking for attention.
Demanding people to respect your pronouns and your identity, that's not asking for special attention.
That's not okay. Because if I really wanted to look for attention, I wouldn't want that sort of attention of you're making this up, and the sort of the horrible things that non-binary and trans people go, that's not looking for attention.
Telling me that you are not looking for attention despite the fact that you're lying to people's faces right now.
And the only attention I have is attention deficit disorder. Woohoo!
I know I might sound extreme when I say this, but can we put these people in the concentration camps? I really can't coexist with the likes of this guy. I just can't. I know, like I said, it's a big extreme, but I've said more extreme stuff before. You guys know me by now. I'm a fucking sociopath.
Neurodiverse joke. But gender and sex has never been a binary. And I hope that next year, 2017, that people will actually start to understand that, and we will see, especially in Ireland, we will hopefully see more non-binary visibility.
Well, hate to break it to you, but that's probably never going to happen. Especially with Donald Trump as president. Yeah, you guys are fucked.
And more acceptance with intersex people, especially.
I think more people would want to eradicate you than to actually be accepting of you.
And gender variant people and trans people. And maybe in a few years people will actually understand that gender isn't a binary. That gender isn't a penis or a vagina. That girls can have whatever genitalia they have. That boys can have whatever genitalia they have. That a person can be non-binary and have whatever genitalia they have.
Really nothing more I could say about you. You are mentally handicapped. Seek help. Stop it.
That these labels of gender will be more accepted. I'm hopeful for a future where gender is not a binary anymore. If you enjoyed this video, boom!
No, I don't like it at all. I find drowning a basket full of puppies more entertaining than this shit. I find mutilating a goat with my bare hands more entertaining with this. I find burning a fucking church down more entertaining than this shit. I am the Atheist Gamer, and keep gaming on.